Hello and welcome back to my channel, everybody. Good to be back here on YouTube. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to set your mental health up well, like day to day. I feel like obviously you can't control what happens to you in a day. You can't control what's going to go wrong. You can't control what's going to be stressful, but you can control how you set yourself up to deal with those things. And I find if I have a baseline of feeling okay and a baseline of things that I do to sort of help myself, any stresses that then come my way are more manageable because I've set myself up sort of to tackle it, basically. So the first thing that I do is I get ready every single morning. And I know this may sound a little bit like obvious to a lot of people, but me like getting up, having a shower, jewelry on, makeup on, putting something on like clothes wise that I like to wear makes me feel like I can sort of handle stuff. If I wear makeup every day, partly because I'm insecure about my skin, but also because it makes me feel like if something happens, I'm ready to deal with it. It's sort of like a mask in a way, I guess. But if you look presentable and you look put together, I think you feel presentable and put together. So I will always do that, even if I feel ill or I'm tired, or even if I'm not like leaving the house or doing anything, I will still get myself ready, make my bed, all that kind of stuff. Just have everything presentable, basically. The second thing is to fuel yourself and nourish yourself in a way that works for you. So I respond well to eating food that is food. You know, if you eat food that's like not very healthy or like junk food or whatever you want to call it, you feel just a little bit bleh. But if you eat food that makes you feel good, then you feel better. And I also think obviously there's a massive correlation between your gut and your mind. We say that your gut is your second brain. So it's actually really important for your mental health for you to be eating a wide range of foods, like different, obviously, nutritious foods, like fruit and vegetables. It's all basic stuff, but it is important. And there was actually a time when I was vegetarian for quite a few years, which I only really went vegetarian because I was kind of using it as an excuse to not eat as much because I struggled with food and I struggled with under eating for a bit. And I thought if I don't eat meat, it's an excuse to eat less because I then don't have to eat meat. I didn't really make a lot of sense. At the time, it made sense, but in hindsight, it didn't make any sense. But when I was doing that, I was sort of under eating, but also I wasn't giving myself enough nutrition. Like I think I was nutritionally deficient because I wasn't eating meat. And I know vegans and vegetarians can be absolutely fine, but I don't think I was getting enough. I wasn't getting enough protein. I wasn't getting enough nutrients. I find I perform better or feel better when I eat a wide variety of foods. So I've started eating meat again now, and that's sort of a roundabout way of saying eat what works for you and what agrees with you. I know what meals I can eat to feel good afterwards. So focus on what you're putting in your body because that will reflect, how your mind feels as well. And then on that note as well, staying hydrated. I know so many people who are chronically dehydrated. I'm like, I don't understand how you do it. I have at all times attached to me a water bottle. In the winter, it's either hot water with lemon or it's peppermint tea because I'm always cold. And I figured, why am I drinking cold water if I'm always cold? I'm going to drink hot water because it makes me warmer. So either hot water and lemon or peppermint tea or just regular water. But just have something on you at all times because if you have it there, you'll drink it. If you have a water bottle with a straw, you will drink more water because humans are inherently lazy. If you have to unscrew a lid, you'll drink less water. If it's got a straw, you'll drink more of it. So buy a water bottle with a straw, just have it on you at all times. Because I can tell if I'm dehydrated, my brain gets foggy, I feel lethargic, I feel more tired. I can really tell if I'm not hydrated. So that's something to keep on top of as well. Obviously, walking the dog every day, being outside every day is something that I do because I have to for her. But the walk and the mental space and the being outside, seeing the sky is a massive one. For me, a lot of the time when I'm walking, I will just stand and look up because I think it gives you quite a lot of perspective and it makes you realize that the world is a lot bigger than just in your head. A lot of the time when you struggle with your mental health, you can feel quite insular and quite like everything feels bigger because it's only in your head. Like if you share a problem, it makes it feel better. If you get some perspective visually, like looking at the sky or looking at a view on top of the hill, that gives you the perspective and it makes you feel more insignificant in a good way. Like we are all just on this floating rock and things will probably be okay. So, outside time, walking is amazing. Walking with podcasts is good, walking with music is good, but sometimes I find just walking without anything is really helpful because it allows time for free thought. And actually, another point is having time for free thought throughout the day because your brain's job is to think. And we often give our brains tasks to do, like work is a task, getting ready, cooking, doing whatever. It's all task focused, which means your brain doesn't have a lot of time to just think, which is what it likes to do. That's what it's supposed to do. And that's often why, as well, when you lie down to go to sleep at the end of the day, you then get overwhelmed by thoughts and overrun by these thoughts because your brain hasn't had any time to think during the day because you've been distracting it for the whole day. And the first time that you have free thought or distraction free time is when you lie down to go to sleep. And then all of the thoughts come in, you end up being awake for hours, and then you're tired, and it's not a good time. So, giving yourself, I actually tell my clients to do this, my mindfulness clients. I will say, set a timer for 5 minutes, sit somewhere and just let yourself think because your brain will just, it likes to solve things and it likes to run through problems and try and come up with solutions. And it will give you these thoughts and it will give you these solutions and it will think about things to try and puzzle stuff out. And that's actually really helpful. And it's something that you should be letting your brain do because it's almost like giving your brain a wash. It's like getting rid of all the debris. If you give yourself free thought, it's giving your brain a little wash. It's sorting out what needs to be thought about, what doesn't need to be thought about, and it's kind of organizing, compartmentalizing all of the thoughts that you're having. So 5 minutes of free thought a day is a fantastic tool which actually reduces your overthinking and is really, really beneficial for your mind. And again, that sort of comes on to sleep and getting enough sleep. That is obviously a massive thing. I think it's a really underrated thing that people don't really pay attention to. I read something once that said driving when you're tired and have been, consistently tired for a long time is actually more dangerous than drink driving, which I think puts it into perspective quite a lot. Your sleep and the regeneration of your body, of your cells, of your mind, of everything that happens when you're asleep needs to be done. And when you're tired, when you haven't had a good night's sleep, everything is affected. And I know sometimes there are phases of life where sleep isn't a priority and you can't get as much sleep as you need. But if you can make it a priority, then do it because you will feel worlds apart if you are giving yourself an adequate amount of sleep. The other thing is exercise. Now, I have always exercised. I need, crave exercise. I used to dance competitively. So I've always moved and I've always loved it and needed it. I don't dance anymore, but I do teach yoga. I am a personal trainer, so I weight train about 4 times a week at the moment. I also go to Pilates, which I've just started going to and I'm obsessed with. Obviously, I walk her every day, but having some form of movement is so, so important for so many different reasons. Obviously, the physical health benefits are massive, mental health benefits are massive. And the bottom line is humans aren't supposed to be sedentary creatures. We're not supposed to sit down. We never did. Back in the day, you'd be running around hunting or you'd be walking to forage or collect things. Like humans are not supposed to sit down. So they also get your steps in, which I think has become a little bit trivial now, but some form of movement that you enjoy and that works for you will make a massive difference in so many areas of your life. You'll be less tired, you'll have more energy, you'll be able to think more clearly. It releases obviously happy hormones, happy chemicals into your body. It's just a fantastic thing to do. But find something that you enjoy, make it a habit. Don't rely on motivation to exercise because you just won't. Make it a habit, set times of the week where you go and exercise. Going to classes is really helpful because it's in a group environment. Humans like being in packs, and also someone's telling you what to do. So it takes the thought and the pressure out of it. So find exercise that you enjoy and stick to that. Meditation, obviously, I meditate every single day, and it has been one of the most transformational things for my mental health. 100%. I sleep better, I think more clearly, my reactions are less, I overthink less, I go on, thought tangents less, my mood is lifted. I just feel better in myself overall when I meditate every day. And the meditation that I do is about 7 minutes every day. It's no more than that. And it is just, sometimes I do guided meditations. I've got one on this channel and I've got over 50 on my website at the moment. But just again, sitting, eyes closed, listening to a guided meditation, if you're new to meditation, is really helpful. Or just sitting and connecting to the breath, focusing on the breath. And again, just having some free thought is so, so beneficial. So meditating every day is absolute non-negotiable. Human interaction as well. I think that's really, really underrated. Like I mentioned before, we like packs, we like herds, we like people around us. We are not lone, we're not a lone species. And I cannot tell you how much perspective and again, like a mood shift, just talking to human beings gives me. If I haven't seen anyone in the day or haven't spoken to anyone in the day, I will have to make a point of leaving the house to go and see another person, speak to another person, even if it's just someone in the shop, if I'm buying some food. It's so important and it makes such a difference. So, making that a priority to get at least one human social interaction every day is so, so important. And then finally, having the space around you being tidy, organized, clean, however you like it. I find it very difficult to have a relatively tidy mind if my space is messy. I keep my house tidy, I keep it clean because the act of it makes me feel calm, and having the space feeling calm and, together also makes a massive difference, and it really, really helps me. So just understanding what your environment is like and how your environment is having an effect on you is very important. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of things to sort of keep on top of, but honestly, I think it's worth it. Obviously, finding things that work for you is, that's very important, but setting yourself up to have as good a day or as good a week as you can with all of these things just sets you off on the right foot. And once you know what works for you, you can just give yourself that stable base. And then, if stresses come up or if things go wrong, you have an adequate amount of capacity to deal with those things. And I think that's what makes the difference. So let me know what your coping mechanisms are or what your non-negotiables are for relatively stable mental health. I'd be really, really interested to read them. And thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, do all those fun things. And hope you have a good day. And I will see you in the next one.